Most men think losing their belly means living off chicken and broccoli, living in the gym, living like a bodybuilder, giving up their social life, and that's sort of kind of why they struggle. The men who actually lose their belly focus on these simple habits instead. If you've got a hectic social calendar, you're not really sure what to do in the gym, you've got a busy life, but you want to sort of like be frustrated with your lack of progress and you want to sort of change what you see in the mirror, then this video is for you. I'm Alun. I've been in the industry 14 years and I have hundreds of guys just like you who are so frustrated with their lack of progress and again, really unhappy taking their top off, but have now gone on to feel like energized, confident, like sort of feel like excited when they're on holiday rather than self-conscious. I've made it my mission to help as many men as possible to turn that around and experience that for themselves too. If you want to achieve the same, the roadmap to getting there is linked in the description below under the Beachboard Kickstart. It's free. It covers everything you need to start changing instantly so you can start seeing results in 1 to 2 weeks. So the problem is this sort of like cycle you go through. You start sort of on the Monday, obviously, don't start any other day. Always start fresh on a Monday. Again, it's just sort of like, again, you're energized then, you want to change. You cut out a load of stuff from your diet, you restrict. Again, you try and perhaps think, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5-6 days a week. I'm going to smash it this week. Again, you throw the kitchen sink at it. You like sort of, again, this massive sort of overhaul of your lifestyle. So you go all in, like you restrict everything, and then like after a few days, perhaps something happens, like a few weeks, like a social event happens, perhaps you miss a workout or you don't eat sort of perfectly, and then you think, oh my God, that's it, that's gone now. And you think you'd fall off the wagon, and then you're like, oh, well, if I can't do it perfectly, there's no point doing it at all. So then you just sack it off, and then the cycle starts again. You was like, oh, well, I'll just wait till Monday now, and then you start back Monday, and then the cycle just continues. So what you need to focus on is consistency instead of perfection. Stop trying to sort of nail everything perfectly. No, you just need to be consistent for months and years at a time. And let's integrate these habits so we can just do on a daily basis, or like our non-negotiables, whatever's going on in our life, we can still get them done, and they're going to help us move forward. So the first habit is just sort of like tweaking your meals. Rather than trying to sort of follow like the bodybuilding diet, again, you just have to sort of perhaps tweak the meals. And the main one is just getting more protein in. This is always the first thing I do when clients start working with me. They're always sort of just like, the diet is all carbs. So again, it's like, okay, getting more protein in. This is going to obviously help your muscle like repair and recovery for when you start lifting in the gym. It's going to help you feel fuller, like sort of, so it reduces cravings and manages your appetite. And then, like I said, you obviously got the nutrients as well. And again, it's just obviously lower calorie then as well. Adding a source of this to each meal, again, it's just going to keep you fuller. You're just obviously not going to want as much. It's going to help you recover from the gym. So then we want to obviously make sure we're getting that sort of like chicken, beef, like steak, tuna, salmon, like the meat, the fish, eggs, protein powder, like Greek yogurts, things like that. And obviously, if you're vegetarian or vegan, then obviously using the plant-based sort of methods and those sort of food sources. But again, it's making sure we're getting perhaps a good sort of like 30 grams of protein with each meal. The second habit is getting your activity up, because most people, again, they just focus on going to the gym. Like they don't realize how sort of sedentary they are. Like they don't, so perhaps they do 2,000 to 4,000 steps a day and they just sat behind a desk or sat on the sofa. Whereas like this is what I do with my clients when they first come in. It's getting our steps up at perhaps 2 to 3K per day from where they were. This is just going to help you get more active. It's just such a quick way and like a great way and to utilize way for fat loss without sort of putting too much demand on the body and without sort of ramping up your appetite. And then we can just break this up through the day. It doesn't have to just be one long walk at the end of the day. It can just like so perhaps 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. Like this is what I do, just 10 to 15 minute bursts through the day. Perhaps again, you park further away whenever you go to a shop or a store. Again, you just sort of, you walk after dinner, you walk in the lunch break, you walk like when you come home from work, you walk perhaps when you're in the gym, you walk in the evening, like, or like, just break it up for the day. And just, if you can add an extra sort of perhaps 2-3K to your steps per day and then build from there and add an extra 2K in a few weeks, that's going to massively help with your sort of weight loss. The next habit then is sort of like planning ahead and like forecasting your week, whether it's with a social event or different things you got coming up with work, whatever, because this is what normally happens. Like people sort of, oh my God, they stress out, something's happening, oh my God, and then like I can't stick to my diet. Whereas no, you just need to forecast it in. Okay, what have I got on this week? Oh, I'm out Thursday, or I'm out Saturday, got this on. Okay, cool. And then we can plan for it. Then we can sort of like factor in, okay, this is why we're going to change your sort of your training Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. This is how we're going to change your training. And again, we can adapt this week and we can sort of plan for it. We can account for it. We know perhaps the scales might just jump up at like 1 or 2 days after a big meal out, whatever. But again, like it's all factored into sort of the calories and stuff, because it's not necessarily about avoiding any social events or again any issues with work. We can't do that. Like these things are going to come at us. People think that this is why people only can do in quiet times or when they've got a clear run. This is the problem, because things will always happen week after week, and it's just like knowing how to navigate that. Okay, like sort of this has happened. Okay, I couldn't retrain today. Okay, I'm gonna have to move my training tomorrow then. Okay, and this is how we adapt, and this is planning ahead for these circumstances. So it's not just like a stop and start and just reacting to them. We are just sort of, okay, like this is how we just navigate, like on a sort of, we're going on a road trip. Okay, like sort of, okay, we've got a road closure, we've got a diversion, we've got traffic. Okay, we just take a different route now. We come off this road or we go somewhere else. We still keep moving towards a destination though. So if you start doing these 3 habits now, obviously being more active, like planning ahead, planning your week for all these different sort of circumstances that might arise, and then again, just focusing on more protein of each meal. This is going to help massively. Sort of like be more active, again, plan ahead, like sort of it's going to allow you to be more consistent. So you don't have to go on this extreme diet and like this all in, all out, like stop and start. Okay, now you can be a bit more consistent for perhaps, okay, months at a time, which is naturally like, if you do something for sort of 6 months compared to sort of like 3 weeks, which thing's just going to be better? Okay, like so 6 months is going to just by default going to give you more chance of losing weight, isn't it? So if you want to learn how to put this all together, like that's what's in the sort of the link in the description, my free Beachbody Kickstart. Again, we go through training, we go through nutrition, like how to get started properly so we can set ourselves up to be consistent long term rather than just like sort of like 1 to 2 weeks. Again, like so click that link and then sort of obviously it'll be in your inbox in seconds and you can crack on with it.